one and all, I'm Alexis, aka the Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to give you guys my June TBR. As it is Pride month in June, I will only be reading books that are from the LGBTQIA+ community. I'm super excited because I feel like I have a lot of really good books on this TBR. It's a pretty ambitious TBR because I have so many audiobooks I want to listen to. The first book I'm going to mention is actually an exception to only reading queer books this month because I'm going on a trip with a friend of mine and we both had to compromise on like a book we wanted to read on audio. So for that, which will only be like 2 days out of the month, I'll actually be listening to Kill a Kingdom by Alexander Christo. I sent my friend a list of like audiobooks I had on my Kindle wish list. And she was like, oh, that one sounds really good. So we're going to listen to that. And I am really excited because a lot of my friends really enjoyed this book. So it is the one exception to my June TBR being only queer books, but I'm still really excited to listen to this one. The next two books I'm going to mention were both top 10 books to read in 2018 for me. The first of which is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. As you can see, I have already started this one, but this is one I've had on my shelves for over like 2.5 years, I think, since it first came out. And this is a very well loved book in the YA book community, and I definitely wanted to give this a shot since I haven't read any of Sean David Hutchinson's other work. And I'm buddy reading this one with my darling friend Melanie at Melissa. I'll link her blog down below. The next one I'm going to mention is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. This was another one that was on my top 10 books I wanted to read in 2018. I've gushed so much about my expectations for this book and how much I think I'll love it. Nina LaCour is just an author I really want to get into, and so I'm really excited to read this one, and I don't think this one will take me too long because it's a pretty short contemporary that just sounds so up my alley. The next one I'm going to mention is The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. This is one I'm very excited to read. I feel like this is probably one of the most well-known YA queer books, and it's one of the more like iconic ones, I guess. And the movie, of course, is being distributed by a major distributor later in this year, which makes me so excited to see the movie, so I definitely want to pick this up before that comes out. The next one I'm going to mention is another buddy read I'm doing with Melanie this month, and that is for Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Alice Oseman's books and her webcomic are always full of queer characters, and I know that the main character in this book is bisexual, and the other main character is demi-romantic and gay, I believe. So these are always really good picks for Pride month, and also all of my queer friends absolutely love Alice Oseman's work, so it does feel like a super fitting match. But again, I'll be buddy reading this one with Melanie as well. The next one I'm going to mention is an arc I have that comes out in July, and that is Whole Metal Girls by Emily Skrutsky. Emily Skrutsky is most well known for her other book series, The Abyss Surrounds Us. But this is her new book that's coming out that is like following two girls who are like competing to be the top spot in like a flight academy, and it sounds so cool, and I'm really excited to read it because female romance in space is everything I've ever wanted, and that's exactly what this is gonna be. So I'm definitely excited to read this one this month because, like I said, it comes out in July. The next one I'm going to mention is A Line in the Dark by Melinda Lowe. This is a pretty short one that I added to my TBR, honestly, because I've never read a Melinda Lowe book, and I felt like this was a great opportunity, especially because this one is very different from every other book I have on my list, so I felt like this one would offer a great opportunity to kind of break from the other style of queer books I was reading this month, because I know that this one is not a thriller, but it's more dark and eerie and suspenseful. So I felt like it was, like I said, the perfect book to break up the other books I had chosen for this list. The next one I'm going to mention is Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. I have this one on audiobook that I'm planning to listen to. Wasn't sure if I wanted to read this one originally because I'd kind of heard mixed reviews from a lot of reviewers I really like. But like I said, I am planning to listen to it on audiobook, and I really like the audiobook narrators for it. And I've heard great things about Audrey Coulthurst's sophomore novel, Ink Mistress. So I decided I wanted to give Of Fire and Stars a shot, so I will be doing that this month. Next on audiobook, I will be listening to Under the Udala Trees by Chinelo Okparanta. And this is actually a book that I wanted to read years ago when it first came out, and I totally forgot about it until I was making my TBR for this month. And I remembered this book existed, and this book is like a female-female romance between two characters in war-torn Nigeria. And the audiobook is narrated by Robin Miles, who I really like. and I was like, this is the perfect month to borrow it on Hoopla and listen to it, and that's exactly what I plan to do. The last audiobook I'm planning to listen to this month, hopefully, is George by Alex Gino, and I feel like George is probably the most well-known middle grade book that features a trans main character, and I haven't read this one yet, and a lot of my friends who have read it have really enjoyed it and said that it was really cute, and I feel like a middle grade is really, really good too because they're typically short and I can get through them pretty fast. So I am planning to listen to this one as well. Another book I'm planning to read in June is All Out, The No Longer Secret Stories of Queer Teens Throughout the Ages, which is an anthology edited by Sandra Mitchell. And I feel like this is a really good pick too because I can just read one short story a day and finish the book. I don't need to read all of them at the same time, but a lot of my friends who read this one already have really, really enjoyed it. I love anthologies. I especially love anthologies when they're about the queer community, and so I'm super, super excited to read this one. Like, I kind of want to start this one and just binge it, but I'm not gonna do that. And the last thing on my super ambitious June TBR is actually a novella that I'm also planning to buddy read with Melanie, and that is The Melody of You and Me by M. Hollis. And Melanie and I both really wanted to read this because we know that this is one of the only books we can both think of that has a pansexual main character, as she and I are both pansexual, and we both were like, yes, perfect time to read this book. And it's written by a Brazilian author who wrote this in English, like as her second tongue, which is super impressive. And we both heard it's just really cute, and it's only like 100-something pages, so we decided we wanted to try and buddy read this one this month as well. Alrighty guys, those are all of the books I'm planning to read in June. This is a super ambitious month, but I feel like I can definitely do it because I have a really good mix of queer books. I have some science fiction, I have some light contemporary, I have some dark contemporary, I've got some historical in there, and so I feel like it all wraps up really, really nicely, and I'm super excited to read all of these books, and I really hope I get to them, and this is like my best reading month of the year. I would absolutely love to know down below what you guys are planning to read in June. In that description box, you can find any links I mentioned in this video, as well as my social media links and my referral links for any of the products I enjoy. If you like what I do, I upload videos on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and I'll see you guys soon with another one. Bye!